Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching this. What's going on? Let's talk Strat stuff today. We're going to talk loaded pick guards. I've got a pile of them over here that I'm working on, and I want to talk about choices, options, wrong choices. Maybe we could think about combinations to make sure that we don't make a mistake when we're putting together a strat. And we'll talk about some of the options, and not just from me. Of course, we make these and sell these here at Dylan Talks Home. But when you're putting together a Strat package, or this kind of guitar anyway, humbucker, single, hum, like whichever. There's a bunch of different options and switching schemes and all that kind of stuff. How far do we want to get into this? So we're going to put one together today, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that you should probably think about just to make sure you get it right for yourself. I hate for you to make a bad choice. Before we get going, I want to tell you that this video is basically sponsored by me, Dylan Talks Tone. So you can go to dylantalkstone.com and check out pickups, loaded pick guards, humbuckers, single coils, P90s, the best P90s in the world, and etc. And I also want to thank my Patreon supporters who make a lot of the stuff that we do on this channel possible. So thanks for doing that, and as well as some of the other affiliate links and stuff in the description. So check that stuff out. Okay, let's talk Strat pick guards. All right, so let's chat pick guards. So when you're putting together a loaded pick guard for for any loaded Strat, this is one of our custom ones that you can get at Dylan Talks Home. We got a bunch of this kind of fun stuff. Engraved metallic with the paisley. We did that here in house. Pretty neat. And then we've got a just kind of regular cream on cream, deal like here. And these are two different setups. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times when you go to click on stuff, whether it's my website or somewhere else, and you want to put something together, all these choices make a difference, right? So even if you're going to do something like buy a set of pickups from somebody, single hum, or 3 singles, what are you, especially when you're doing like a single hum deal, what combinations do we want? How are we going to get them to balance, right? That's the trick. Because a lot of times people say, well, I put a humbucker in my Strat, and now the neck pickup and the humbucker don't balance together. It's like the volume's all over the place, etc. And then there are other choices, for example, like on this pickguard, where we have a coil split. So we can actually pull this knob up, and we can split this to be a single coil, but is it gonna balance, right? And then over here, we've just got a regular, this is going to be a regular 5-way switch. I haven't put it together yet. So we're gonna talk about what pots we're gonna put in this guitar, because now we have two separate, we have a humbucker here and we have 2 singles here. What pot should I put in? 250, 500? Like, how should we set this up? So what do we want to do first? I guess let's talk about this first. So we've got a 500K pot here, and we've got a 250K pot here. Now, for those of you that have watched my channel for a while, you'll know that we've talked a lot about when you put a 500K pot in a guitar, it's going to take that resonant peak of the entire guitar, really, and it's going to shift it towards the high end, right? So it's going to change your mid-range a little bit. It's going to give you a little bit more clarity. It's actually going to probably give you more mid-range if you go from a 250K pot to a 500K pot. Conventional wisdom says that you put 250K pots with single coils and you put 500K pots with humbuckers, right? That would make sense. Here's the thing though, now we have 2 going in the same guitar. This is how I like to do it. I'm not saying it has to be done this way for everybody, but this is the way I like to do it. I like to put 500K pots all in here, okay? All of them. But then when we put the switch in, we wire the switch so that we have neck, middle, we have neck, then these 2, then middle, then these 2, then bridge, like a normal Strat setup, correct? There's no coil split on this one. We'll get to why in a few minutes. But what we really care about is we want in the bridge position, we want this tone knob to control this pickup by itself. And then we want this tone knob to control these two pickups. Why do we want to do that? Because we want more clarity here and probably less clarity here. So instead of handicapping the entire guitar by putting 250K pots all the way across, what we're going to do is put 500K pots all the way across and then be able to adjust our tone on these two pickups. So let's say in a lot of circumstances, let's say maybe you're doing that in this case. And so you would have your tone all the way on 10 here. And you might turn your tone down to maybe 8 here so that you kind of can adjust for the difference between these two pickups. That will give you a lot more balance. The other thing you can do, and I am a proponent of this, a lot of folks want to put a volume mod on a Strat. What that means is there will be like a little capacitor and a resistor on your volume pot so that when you turn your volume pot down, it doesn't kill the highs. However, on a situation like this, with 500K pots, what you can do is use that to your advantage. So the other way you can kind of get around the imbalance, quote unquote, imbalance of having a humbucker and two single coils is don't run a volume mod, so that when you turn your volume down, whoops, backwards. When you turn your volume down, oh, it's all the way down. Whoops. When you turn your volume down this much, it might sweeten up. I don't say cut the highs because it will naturally, but it will really sweeten up the tone here. And then when you go to your bridge pickup, just turn your volume all the way up. You see what I'm saying? So there's a couple of different ways to approach that. So our default wiring on this setup, and I'll show you a wiring diagram, and I'll actually show you the little jumper you can put in. So here is the default wiring diagram for a Stratocaster. I'll do it the same exact way with a humbucker bridge pickup. But on all of our wiring, what we do is we put this little jumper in right here, from here to here. And you can do this on your normal Strat too. And that will make the bottom tone knob control just the bridge pickup. And then that way you can have this kind of separation of tone control for the different styles of pickups. And you don't really have to worry about what pots you put in it. I would personally, in this situation, I would default to 500K pots. Get in the comments and let me know what you do for a situation like this. When you're just single hum, no coil split, no nothing, you know. Anyway, that's what I would do. So this is the volume, or this is the wiring diagram that I would use in this situation. Now in this situation, it's pretty much the same, and it's got the same little jumper wire there, and I'll show you that, how we put this little jumper in here so that it works. That's pretty much the same situation on this pickguard. The difference is going to be with this one is that we've got a push-pull to coil split this pickup. So we're still going 500K pots all the way across. We're going, this is the tone knob for the bridge pickup only. And we're doing our normal 5-way switch. The difference is going to be on this guitar is the coil split. And what I want to talk about with the coil split is pickup choice. When we use a coil split, what happens? We actually cut the output of this pickup in half, right? So a lot of times there's a big volume drop between the full humbucker and the humbucker with just the single coil, right? So on our pickup that we suggest for this, we suggest in this situation putting our center punch humbucker in here. Our center punch humbucker is engineered in such a way that when you coil split it, it only loses about 30%, 25 to 30% of the overall output of the pickup, and the volume drop is not as discernible. Those of you that use that pickup, who have it, get in the comments and just comment your experience with it so that others can kind of verify what I'm saying here, because it is true. The way our center punch humbucker works, when you coil split it, the volume doesn't drop. At least it doesn't drop enough to make a big perception. So that's what we do here. Now, in this other pickguard, we have one of our Super 8 pickups, which is basically just like our PAF with a Alnico 8 magnet in it. I would not coil split this pickup because then you'll run into that big volume drop problem. So what I would recommend is if you're going to do a coil split, this is what I'd recommend. My favorite combination in all single hum pickguard setups that we do is our hot 5. Okay, so these are about 7K or so. 6, 8, 7, it depends on the temperature in the room, blah, blah, get super nerdy. But these are our higher output Strat pickups. With a humbucker, this will give you much better volume balance when you're just going from neck to bridge to middle, okay? Then, if you're and I would do that in both of these pickguards. That's what both of these are for the single coils. If you're gonna go do a humbucker. If it was me, I would not put our classic 5s. I would not put our Bonnevilles in these pickups or these pickguards. You could put our Highway 99s, which have relatively the same output as these, but resistance-wise, but they have different magnets. So, but for the more modern setups, I would use our Hot 5 single coils in both situations, and that's what these are, okay? The difference being, this is a center punch pickup with the cool coil split setup where the volume doesn't drop. This is our Alnico 8 PAF. So this is our Super 8. And that's what I would put in it. So no coil split, hot 5, Super 8. Coil split, hot 5, center punch. Output is going to be pretty nice and even throughout all of these setups, both of these setups. But this one is going to be basically made for having a coil split in this situation. No coil split on this one. I would still put 500K pots in both setups, like I said, and then we ship all of our pickguards with that little jumper that I showed you. That would really simplify. I want to say not making the wrong decision, but I would hate for people. And if you don't get pickups from me, that's totally fine. But what I would recommend is a higher output Strat pickup with a humbucker in the 6.5 to 7K range. That would be my recommendation. So if you're going to get it from Lawler, if you're going to get it from anywhere else, Seymour Duncan, anywhere else, doesn't matter. Or even if you've got a bunch of Fender stuff laying around the house, I would recommend having. This is what I would say. Let's say 70% of the output of the humbucker, resistance-wise, in the single coils. So if this is a 7K humbucker, I would say this should be somewhere around 6.5 to 7. Okay, the singles. And these should be the same. In this situation, these are 6.8 and this is like 7.6. And that's perfect. So you could use that sort of same delta between these two, 6.8 to 7.6, no matter the pickup. But remember, we have Alnico 8 magnets in here, so that makes that a little hotter. So just know that thinking about that balance, I would not put a really low output set of pickups here and a really high output humbucker here, unless you're one of those folks who wants to build in a situation where you have two completely different guitars and you don't care about balance, right? Because you may be like, you know what? I'm going to be full shred right here with some super high output humbucker, and then I want to be full low output blues on this neck pickup or on this position right here, two completely different guitars in the same. So it just depends on your goal. But if you're going to do balance-wise, the aforementioned thing is what I would do. Now, let's talk about some other alternative wiring schemes. The first mod I want to talk about is that people will do And here's the diagram for it. We'll put it on the screen so you can have it, pause, whatever, so you can have it. And I'm probably going to start adding some of these to, like when you buy our pickups, you get this, and I'm going to make it to where you can't scan it off the screen, but you get this thing that you scan and it takes us to a secret page on our website that gives you some wiring diagrams. So what we're going to do is, today actually, I'm going to add some of these because I don't have them on here. So we're going to add some of these to that. So when you buy pickups from us and you want to maybe do some of these alternative wiring schemes, you can do it. I'm not interested. I'll tell you right now, if you call me and say, can you do the Gilmore mod? We probably won't do it. On a bigger scale, it creates more customer service issues when you start to do a lot of these wacky things, and I hate to do that. I just want to give you a solid product that I know that we make, and then if you want to do these mods later, you're welcome to do them, obviously. Or if you're just curious and you already have a guitar and you want to do this to it, this is the diagram. So basically what we're doing is we're taking a single pole double throw switch and we're making it to where we can turn the neck pickup on. This gives you two more real selections in the guitar. Once the neck pickup is on, you have two fun settings. Bridge and neck on at the same time, and you have all three pickups on, which a Strat never has, which is really fun. I like the neck and the bridge on at the same time. I really like it. It's not quite telly, it's a little different. And if you have a humbucker in your guitar like what we're looking at, then it's also very cool. So that is the first thing that I wanted to share with you. Let's look at a couple other things. And just so you know, I am, I just got this from a website on the internet. I'm just looking for screenshots of good diagrams that I can show you. So, it's just stuff that I found. But this stuff works really cool. So this is the blender mod. Everybody asks me for this. We don't do it, but it's something that you can do. And basically what you do is you pull out you have to take out the bottom tone control. You have to remove it, okay? And then you replace it with a no load tone pot, okay? And so or no load pot, and it same resistance as the other guitars or the other pots. And then basically what happens is you have one tone control that you have to kind of redo your tone circuit here. But what will happen is you'll have a master tone on the guitar, and then the blend pot, when it's on 10, it's a normal Strat. But down at 1, okay, then you'll see that the neck pickup is blended in basically to whatever other setting you have, and you can actually use the knob then to control how much neck pickup you have through the sweep of the rest of your controls. It's kind of a neat one. I don't personally have a use for it. A lot of people request it. Here is the diagram for it. If it's something that you're into, definitely check it out. Okay, and then the other thing I want to talk about real quick is this freeway 10-way switch. Now, you can go to the StewMac website. I'll leave a link to this in the description. How much does this thing cost? It's $51. And it'll go into a Strat. A caution you should know though is that it is 1.3 inches deep, which is deeper than a normal like Oak Grigsby switch that we normally put in a guitar. So just make sure that you have the room in your cavity to do that, the body cavity. But when you go to this website, you'll see that there's a whole bunch. Basically, if you look at this picture, you'll see it's like a stick shift. It's like this way and then this way. For me personally, it's too much stuff. I would never play with it live because I'd forget what was what. But there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with it. But this is one of those things that you're going to have to read into. And look at all the diagrams and look at the specifications and see if this will work for you. But it's a quality piece. I have used it in one project and I just thought it was too much. So it's just not for me. So Yeah, there you go. But you can check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It is cool, just not my thing. And then of course there is all kinds of other things you can do if you have like a super switch, for example. A super switch basically, so for those of you that don't know, your normal Stratocaster switch is actually a switch on this side of the blade and a switch on this side of the blade. And when you bridge over the top of it, that is why it then becomes one switch. You're actually doing some functions on this side, doing some functions on this side, and that jumper that goes over connects the two. But really, you have an independent switch on this side and an independent switch on this side. A super switch splits that again, and you have 4. So there's a whole bunch of other fun stuff that you can do with a super switch. My caution there is it is much wider. It's about the same depth, but it's much wider. The reason I don't get into those is, again, because of overcomplication. From the me to you, customer direct situation, when you call me and want a recommendation what to do with your Strat, and you want to do a bunch of crazy stuff, I'm just like, man, it's so hard to recommend that stuff because I don't want to send you down the wrong road. And then it's very difficult, A, to undo it, and B, to troubleshoot it if it's something that doesn't work exactly the way you want it to work. So that's kind of why I stay away from that stuff, and we keep it pretty simple. So in an effort to just kind of simplify this, here's some recommendations that I would make for you if you're putting together a loaded pickguard Strat. Or if you're just replacing components, let's say you have a bunch, even if you're not getting it from me, I'm just saying if you have a pickguard and you're trying to put together a Strat. If it was a Strat, like a normal single, I would do 2 things. I would use 250K high quality CTS pots. We have those here at the website at Dylan Talks Tone. The other thing I would do is I would do that little jumper mod so that you can have this tone knob do the bridge, even on a regular Strat. Most of the modern Strats are doing that now. It's really nice. I won't have another guitar. I won't have it done any other way on a Strat, in my opinion. Again, that little jumper mod, I'll show. You've seen the picture of it, and we will put that on our website thing that we're providing later. On the single hum stuff, what I would say is move to 500K pots, no volume mod, okay? So no treble bleed. Volume mod, treble bleed, those are the things that they call it. I would also continue to put that little link in there so that the bridge pickup has its own tone control. And then the other thing I want to make a recommendation is if you are going to coil split, and a single hum, I would say, I would do 80% at least output of these to the 100% output of the humbucker to have a more balanced sound. Okay? For us, I think at Dylan Talks Tone, my recommendation would be our Hot 5s in these 2 positions and our Super 8 in this position. If you're not going to do a coil split, if you're going to do a coil split, do not use a DAF. Do not use a Thruxton. Do not use a Super 8. Don't use any of those. I would use always, if you're going to put a coil split in here, I would always use a center punch because it will give you a better result. The tone will not be that much different, but more than any of the other pickups per se, it's pretty mid-range heavy, but more importantly, it balances well and it works well in this as a system, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a system that works together, right? So if you're going to coil split, use the center punch pickup. That's what I would tell you. It will work. And for those of you who have it, like I said, get in the comments and tell everybody why I'm right. Because it's true. They work really well. Also, if you want to get some custom crazy stuff like this, we're doing a bunch of neat stuff. We've got all these crazy Strat covers, or Strat pickups. In fact, check this out. This one's clear, right? Super fun. And then we've got a whole bunch of other acrylic tops. And this is actually the top of the pickup. It's not a cover. So we're kind of doing it a little different. We made a video and a short about it the other day. So if you have any questions about that, let me know as well. Get in the description. Tell me what your favorite the comment section. Let me know what your favorite Strat setup is, what your favorite Strat pickup combo is, even if it's not my stuff. I mean, tell me, like, I don't know, maybe you like blade pickups. I don't know. Like, just let me know. I'm curious. Because what's really fun about Strats is it's just like template to do all kinds of crazy things. And so hopefully this gave you some ideas, but also kept it simple enough to where you don't make a bad decision and have a combination that doesn't work. There you go. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. It's been super fun. If you have any questions, get in the comments. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters who support the channel. Everybody who uses the links in the description that are affiliate links, like that StuMac thing that I was showing you earlier, as well as everybody who goes to Dylan Talks Tone and buys pickups and pick guards and all that kind of stuff. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow.